And welcome back to Sandra and Tarot. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Celeste, and this is your October monthly reading for October 2023. As you can see, I have all your main spread out on the table. We'll be using the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. We'll be clarifying with the Energy and Spirit Oracle by Sandra and Taylor. And if you need that information, it'll be in the description box down below. And I usually break down the astrology for the month, but I'm going to skip over that. I will, however, say one thing of note, and that is we are officially in eclipse season. We have 2 eclipses, one solar, one lunar, in the month of October. And eclipse energy lasts for the next 6 months. So what we tackle now, what we do now, or what we don't do now, has weight. It'll carry over for the next half of a year. So please be mindful of that. And we're going to go ahead and begin your reading. We're going to start with our overall energy. So we have regeneration in the reverse, flexible in the reverse, higher power, thinker in the reverse, poised in the reverse, building blocks in the reverse, to be fair, and yang, which is our divine masculine energy. Alrighty. So overall, for the collective, and please be mindful, this is a general reading, not to one reading. So take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Some of us are probably having issues when it comes to recreating ourselves, finding our zest for life if we've lost it, being able to reimagine or upgrade ourselves the way we kind of want to. And part of that is we have a little bit of inflexibility. We have some stubborn energy there. Either things that we haven't let go of, and we're not wanting to move on from it. So we have a couple hang-ups, or we've got like a fixed mindset. Not that you have to be a fixed zodiac sign, but you have a fixed mindset, and that is put you in the label with a specific box, and you've kind of boxed yourself in, and you've got this viewpoint that you have to live your life a certain way. Things have to be a certain way. They can only be a certain way. And unfortunately, yes, that will keep you stuck. Well, meanwhile, your higher self is asking you to evolve, to grow. And that is something that you haven't been paying attention to. You haven't been trying to approach that idea. You haven't wanted to expand on it, to build on it, to create something beyond the 4 walls that have become your comfort zone. And because you've been ignoring it, to be honest, you're not putting energy into it. You haven't for quite some time. Things have just been there. So whether you're aware of being uncomfortable or things having outgrown you or not, there are things that, yes, are going to need to alter, to change. And some of you, even in this overall energy, even if you haven't got all the nuances of that down, what it is that needs to be left behind or what needs to be changed, you've already realized that something has to shift, something has to be altered, and have started to put energy into that, have start to kind of, I guess, slowly eke out of that comfort zone. It's kind of like having 1 foot outside the doorway and 1 foot still inside the room, if that makes sense. It's like you've, dipped your toe into the water to test to see if it's safe. You have this urge to go, but your comfort zone says stay, so you're kind of on the fence. You're on one side of the fence and the other part of you is on the side of the fence where you were. Which is really weird for an energy of this half in, half out. But let's see what else they would like to add as an overall energy for the collective. Oh, okay. So thought vibrations, resonant choices, signature signals. Remember I did say there are certain things that you have not been paying attention to. You've actually had your higher self, you've had your spirit team trying to give you signs, trying to pull your attention towards certain aspects, but you've been ignoring it. So there's a little bit of a blockage there. Talent guides, spiritual mentors, and teachers. Like I said, part of your spirit team has literally been trying to send you messages, and in a way it's kind of fallen on deaf ears or deaf eyes, if that can actually be a term. It's just kind of like in one ear, out the other. Personal guide, guardian angel, spirit family. Yeah, in fact, they might be a little I almost want to say impatient, or slightly upset that all the signs, things they've tried to point you towards, have been ignored. They're there to, guide you. They're there to teach you. But at the same time, you're purposely ignoring them or aren't acknowledging them. And they've been putting forth so much effort, confusion, many choices, uncertainty. But we're kind of getting the point anyway. Like I said, some of you have already started to put energy into making changes, even if you're not certain what that is or where it needs to be. It's kind of slowly sunken in that, well, I can't stay here. Angels of the seventh chakras, power, truth, connection. Yeah, things in your world have not been aligning up for quite a while, and this is the reason why you might feel confined. It's because you've boxed yourself in, and trying to get out of that cornered space has been difficult. Archangel Phanuel, hope, optimism, new beginnings. Pessimism does not help you, but at the same time, when you feel trapped, when you feel like you're almost stuck in survival mode again, instead of being let out of survival mode, your hopes, your dreams, your optimism, your mindset tends to spiral the drain a bit. But that also, if you're in that type of space for a long time, toxicity, eventually you do get the picture that that's not where you need to be, and that forces you to move on. And for some of you, you've noticed that. You realize that your environment is not what you hoped for. It's not what you dreamed. So even if you are unaware of what exactly the issue is, you just know you can't stay in the toxicity and are moving on. So a lot of you might be making major changes. Not only in October, but like I stated previous, we do have eclipse season going on. So over the next 6 months, I would not be surprised if you don't, change jobs, change careers, decide to move, maybe letting go of certain friends or major habits, having to do a lifestyle change. Maybe addressing issues of toxic money habits, etc., you're gonna end up having to purge or let go of something in order to level up, and that's ultimately what they're wanting you to do. And it's just depending on if you've begun that process or if you're partially the way through. So please take those portions as they resonate, because some of you have started this process or are already trying to tackle it, even if it's a bit muddied, whereas others, you haven't started this and you have no clue about the changes and shakeups that are trying to take place for you. But let's go into our advice that we have over here on the side. We have New Life in the reverse, Mending, Observer, and Co-Create. Yes, where we're down, where we're out, where there's toxicity, where we feel trapped, where we can't feel like we can breathe and be comfortable in our own space, like we're dying a slow death inside, as it were. These are areas, yes, that we need to fix, we need to address, but we also have to look at those areas and identify what they are. Because if we can't identify precisely what they are, mending them is going to be kind of like a 3-year-old trying to put ripped things back together with no string and no sharp implements. It's not going to work quite so well. So to co-create, to change things, we have to be aware. We have to be precise and use what we've got at our disposal in order to make things all nice and pretty and realigned to fix the issue, as it were. And that takes some skill, some tact. And you can do yourself a favor by paying more attention and giving it your focus the way you need to, rather than letting it go over your head and ignoring it. And ignoring problems, typically for most people, do not go over well. They tend to expound or create other spin-off issues. And gradually get worse because they've been ignored, and they just fester. They don't always naturally slide away. They usually take some sort of addressment. Yeah, ancestors, historical connections, and purposes. Remember, I told you your spirit team has been trying to point things out to you of where you need your attention, where you need your focus to be, what the changes, where those changes are needing to happen. And they've just kind of been glazed over or outright ignored. This is what they're trying to help you with. They're trying to help you mend, fix things, and to evolve and grow. And with that, yes, comes some things that are not quite so nice. Most of us refer to it as shadow work, simply because they're dark hidden things and they make us uncomfortable. And a lot of us hate doing it, but there it is. You're going to have to contend with it at some point. So you might as well face your fears and start looking. Okay, we're going to go down here to our obstacle. We have Between Worlds. And that explains the 1 foot outside the door and 1 foot inside the room, or 1 foot on either side of the fence energy I was getting. Go the distance in the reverse, exchanging gifts, milk and honey in the reverse, and fork in the road in the reverse. Yeah. You have the place that you were. You have the place that you would like to go, and you're somewhere in the transitioning phase in between. And you may be very slow moving or haven't started yet. Whether that is fear because you feel like there's a trade-off that you might be losing out on something. So you've refused to make decisions. You've refused to pay attention to it. You've refused to focus on it. Now, whether that is an energy you're starting to transition from because you are more on the move than others, that is fantastic. For those of you that haven't gotten started on a major shift in your life over the next month to potentially 6 months, well, you better strap yourself into your shoes quite tightly, because you're going to have to move whether you like it or not. And it may not be a fast transition. This may be a gradual thing where you are uncomfortable and kind of out of your depth in the process. And eventually you'll realize as you go, whether you're going fast or slow, doesn't matter. You'll realize there is a trade-off of energy. The old world that was toxic and uncomfortable is going to give way to something bigger, brighter, happier. So there is a trade-off, maybe not quite what you're catastrophizing or agonizing in your head. But it's a choice worth making. Remember, anytime you have a major shift like this, there's always something to be gained. It's usually your ego and fear tapping in and telling you not to move, to stay where you are, running amok and, whispering little nuances inside your head, going, no, because this will happen. No, because you'll have to give up this. Or, no, you'll never have that. Beware that voice. Because it's probably going to get louder as you move. And, of course, that will slow you down. Alright, is there anything else you would like to add for the obstacle before we move on? Of course. And the first card out they give us is freedom. Moving on, letting go. Yes, you're going to probably be a little fearful of transitioning. And it's going to be awkward. And it's going to feel weird. Just like the birthing process. There's pain, there's pressure before there's a release. So there's no way around this. I'm sorry. I wish there was, but there's not. And then we have beneath the surface, hidden truths, something unknown. Change is scary. And beware, like I said, the voice that's telling you not to move, that's trying to feed you misinformation, that you'll be missing out on things, you can't have things, things will just get worse. That's them covering up the truth. That little voice inside your head, your ego covering up the truth so you don't grow, so you don't free yourself, so you don't make the transition. And then we have family tree, expansion, legacy. You're literally trying to free yourself from the past, from toxic situations. Things that you've outgrown. You're trying to shed a skin. Shed a layer of skin, just like a snake. All because there's something better waiting for you. It's just like this Between Worlds card. Toxic side, better side. You're leaving the dark, gray, toxic world, the skin that you've literally outgrown, and you're trying to shed it and move forward into a brighter, healthier, more vibrant, happier you. For your own self-betterment. Transitioning hard, literally making the transition and not giving in to fear, that is your obstacle. not giving into fear, not catastrophizing, realizing there's something better on the other side, reward, an easier time, you know, an easier cycle, perhaps a little expansion of money. These are all waiting on the other side, and a good thing to remind yourself of. That way you don't freeze, you don't get so stuck that the world will have to force you to move because you've refused to move and you've dug your feet in. It's always best to move when the first nudges come across that it's time to be elsewhere, rather than dig your heels in and outright refuse until the universe forces you to change. It's better to co-create than be forced in any manner. Now that I've said that, let's go to your blessings. We have time for a nap, deep knowing in reverse, and chaos and conflict in reverse. Okay, you're going to have moments where everything is kind of quiet, almost peaceful. These are periods where you can rest, where you don't have to force yourself to do the work. Moments where you don't have to force yourself to put one foot calmly in front of the other to make progress. These are times for fun. These are times for relaxing. These are times to de-stress. Take advantage of those, because as much as those are in our blessings category, they're not going to be all the time. We can't have fun and games all the time. That's a temporary energy. Use it wisely, whether that is you needing some time with some friends, whether that's you needing to literally sleep, whether that's you taking a time out from everyone else to do some self-care while you have a minute to just be you by yourself. Maybe that's meditation for you. Whatever that is. Take advantage of those moments when they appear, because they will be gone just as quickly. Alright, Spirit, anything else for blessings you would like to add? And I apologize for my dog. Animal totems, animal energy and powers. Yes. Archangel Ezekiel, self-acceptance, compassion, forgiveness. And with that comes self-care. You're going to have to take notice of those times for self-care, those times where everything is peaceful, whether that is stillness for you to gain wisdom, hence the owl, or realizing you have kind of a calm moment and all the humdrum busyness that you need clarity. You need strength to keep on going in the madness, and you've got just a brief moment to realize what it is you're needing and how to execute things going forward. Like I said, this is moments to rest, self-care, but also gain clarity. Don't be surprised if, for those of us that know how to use animal energy, might be tapping into very specific animals and utilizing those traits as we move forward. Okay, interesting. They're pointing out the numbers on these two cards, 27 and 21. So whether those are separate or together, and you'll have to forgive me with angel numbers because there's a million of them. If it is together 27, 21, please look that up to see what that is in angel numbers. That might be prudent for a few of you if you feel called to investigate that number. Okay, and we are going to move right on to our unexpected. We have the orphaned in the reverse, time to go, happy, happy, here and now, not for you, and tick tock in the reverse. Oh yes, you are never alone, not ever. And when you realize that the reason why you feel down and isolated is because of where you were, and you start moving forward away from that energy, realizing where you are is not where you need to be, and you start to progress, you start that shift, you get happier. Happier things come your way, your circumstances improve, and believe it or not, you can be happy along the way. During a transition, you'll always find moments of peace, harmony, happiness, and joy. And those are the energies that you really have to chase. They're highlighting the stream that's coming through her body and out the top of her head here. So it's okay to be accepting of, this is where I was, I'm somewhere in the middle, I'm not where I need to be, but I'm capable of being happy where I am for the moment. It's that being present and realizing that the present moment may not be where you would like to be, but it's definitely improvement over where you were, which wasn't for you, and realizing you're still moving forward. You're still trying to reach a goal. You're still moving and shifting forward at random intervals and pace, but you're moving at your own pace, and that is fine. Because you're still showing progress. You're still moving. And I know this card says happy, happy, but I see it more as acceptance. This is not an overnight thing. This is a gradual thing. And in fact, it may not complete through the month of October. Like I said, we're dealing with eclipse energy now, so it does carry over longer, even though this is a monthly reading. So I kind of like this as the unexpected, the reminder of wherever you are in the journey, be accepting of where you are. Be okay with where you're at, but realize where you were and how uncomfortable it is to keep on going, but don't rush through it. Move at your own pace. That's actually a very powerful message and a great reminder for everyone. Because you don't have to be upset and unhappy the entire time throughout the process. Allow yourself to be happy. Allow yourself to feel joy. Allow yourself to be accepting of who you were, who you are, and who you wish to be. Alright, Spirit, anything else you would like to add for the unexpected? Thought vibrations, resonant choices, signature signals. Yes, there are going to be things that you're going to resonate with. They're actually highlighting the colors here for me, just like they did with the happy, happy card. Allow yourself to be acceptable with where you're at. Allow yourself to feel that joy. Allow yourself to follow it. Those are emotions that are trying to give you direction, and when we follow that, it's a resonant choice. It is something that will help guide you. And then we have the soulful appreciation, heartfelt gratitude. That might be difficult simply because you're in transition. And you're displeased with where you were and you're not where you need to be. Like I said, I keep getting the word acceptance with the happy, happy card. Accept of where you were, where you are, and where you wish to be. Who you were, who you are now, and who you like to be in the future. Try to accept all three of those phases. The past, the present, and the future. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this back up. And before I close out the reading, we're going to see what we need. And they're wanting those cards off the top. Okay. And we have a family tree, legacy and expansion. We have goddess of dreams, vision, intuition, receptivity in the reverse, relaxation, peaceful pursuits, happy times, creation, soul expression, something new, currents of emotion, uncontrolled feelings, and then we have animal totems, animal energies, and power showing up again. Okay, yes, we're asking for a shift. We're asking and being urged to expand, to evolve. And that could last not only just for the month of October, but for the next 6 months because of eclipse season. Being able to see clearly has been an issue, and they're drawing me to the Amethyst stone that is over this woman's third eye chakra, just like they did with the happy, happy card. Being able to see it is difficult. In fact, you might have a blockage right there. Of course, be aware of things that you are ignoring. You do have your spirit your spirit team trying to guide you, and you're not able to receive. So you're either ignoring that and it's just going in one ear and out the other, or you might have a blockage in your third eye or even your crown chakra at this particular time. As with your blessings, beware of the moments when things come to a screeching halt and you've got that moment of peace, that time to relax. Go ahead and enjoy those times. Use it to gain clarity, rest, relax, do some self-care. Especially if you have time to do ground meditation or grounding exercises, meditation, either of that. If that helps you to remain balanced, get clear, and if you have a blockage, definitely do that. Creation, soul expression, something new. You realize probably at some point during the month, if you haven't realized already, you need the change. You're wanting something new, whether that's a job, to be a new person. We have the new life card in the reverse over here in our advice. Then we start out with the regeneration card also in the reverse. Having that new life, being a new version of ourselves, having that rebirth, the renewal, is something we desire, but has been a little hard to do. Remember, we're trying to co-create with the universe to get help with that instead of be hindered. But first you have to identify what needs to change, where that shift is, where you're uncomfortable, where you're stuck. And as I said before, some of you have already started that process. Some of you are already in between and on the way to that transition already. Currents of emotion, uncontrolled feelings. Yes. I just covered this in the unexpected, those happier emotions, joy, peace, harmony, positivity, just being happy, enthusiastic, chase those feelings. Those will lead you in the right direction. But if you're feeling agitated, if you're feeling depressed, or even repressed, or even if you're showing signs of anger or frustration, pay attention to those. Those are things that are trying to trigger you and can tell you probably where things are not where they need to be. They're misaligned. They're askew, astray. When you have those negative side emotions, go ahead and realize your emotional body is trying to tell you something. And start asking yourself, okay, what's the source? What is the cause of this? And with that, and they're pointing at the lightning in this card, you'll have the epiphany. You'll get the idea of where your issues are. Where are they stemming from? What is the problem? Because then you can find out what the real problem is and then deal with it, contend with it, move on from it, evolve from it as needed. Yes, animal totems. I covered this earlier as well. Animal energy and powers. For those of you that keep seeing reoccurring animals or feel an affinity towards a particular animal, if you are not aware of what that animal energy is or what the traits are of that animal, please look them up. You may need to tap into that energy, whether it's wisdom, whether it's strength, whether it's perseverance, whether it's clarity, whether it's adaptability. And for some reason I'm getting another energy off this card now. You may feel the need to snuggle or cuddle a pet for comfort. Perhaps that is something that you do when things get tough. Some, anxiety triggers where you walk up to your dog and throw your arms around them and snuggle your dog to make yourself feel better. That's interesting. I'm going to go ahead and leave that right there. And of course, remember this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading. So if it doesn't resonate, go ahead and leave it behind. Take what does resonate. And hopefully some of this resonated for you. And if it does, do me a favor and give me a big thumbs up. Go ahead and chat at me in the comments section and down below. And if you haven't subscribed and you're curious, go ahead and subscribe. See what we do here. And if you feel inclined to, go ahead and share the video on any platform online. I truly appreciate those that do. It does help the channel grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.